Hey guys, this is Carrie with Abstract Wellness, and I'm here today to talk to you guys about pain management. Yes, we all know that there's an opioid epidemic here going on in the States. It's been going on here for some time, not only here in the United States, but also worldwide. And there has been a connection with the overuse of prescription drugs due to various factors from mental illness to pain management. And that's kind of like what I wanted to focus on today, and that would be along the lines of pain management. Remember, any advice that I give you or anything that we talk about in any of these episodes is strictly my advice to you. You are more than welcome to research any information that I do speak about. You also need to know that any advice that I give to you should not take the precedence over your physician's advice or care. Please, please, please proceed with caution when indulging in any new or therapeutic treatments and or advice coming from myself or anyone else. Please do your due diligence and also follow up with your practitioners as needed. Again, welcome, welcome, welcome to this session, this episode of Abstract Wellness, where today we're going to talk about natural alternatives in connection with pain. And I know there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of concerns about pain medications that they take, whether they're prescribed or not prescribed by a physician. This is a tricky area for a lot of people because everyone's pain tolerance is a little bit different from the next person. So what you may or may not have in your medicine cabinet, someone else may or may not have in theirs. What works best for you may not work best for someone else. That's why there's a variety of things out there that's for use for different people. However, some of the items that are out there that are prescribed or overly prescribed, as I like to say, are habit forming. They're addictive and they create a lot of damage in a lot of people's lives. I personally know of people that have been affected by this, and I have given my advice in regards to the overprescribing of certain medications for pain or for mental disorders. And I have to say that it is a really big problem or really big issue in this country. Not only do you have people that go to the doctor or their physician and complain of issues and in hopes of getting these issues fixed, they're overly prescribed or often prescribed the wrong medications. So I wanted to just give a little bit more information out there in regards to things that are helpful from a natural perspective. And there are a lot of natural herbs and roots out there that do the same thing, if not better, than what's out there, what you currently have in your medicine cabinet. Remember, a lot of these drugs that are prescribed by physicians come from these same examples that and more that I'm getting ready to talk about with you guys today. So the first item that I wanted to talk to you guys about, it's called Angelica. And I love to give you guys a example of this type of, the herbs and the roots, because a lot of people say, I didn't even know that that existed. I thought that this was something, a derivative from something else. And you guys know I'm not a fan of anything that's created in a laboratory. So I love to show you guys the actual root or the actual herb, just so that you can see that it does exist. Okay, this is Angelica right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. You should be able to see that. Okay, Angelica, it looks like a bunch of trees chopped up, little mini trees or those little groups from Guardian of the Galaxy. That's not what, it's not like a miniature Groot. I promise you it's not. It's an actual root. And Angelica actually is closely related to Dong Quai. Dong Quai is basically a herb or root that Chinese medicine that's used in Chinese medicine very often, a lot. It is one of the respected female tonics in Chinese medicine. Basically, Angelica is a traditional birthing herb. It's used to help bring on a delayed labor or expel the placenta following childbirth. So just think in terms of pain and childbirth. A lot of women can, you know, kind of correlate with that, especially the women that have had children. So this is very helpful in that realm. If you think about that level of pain, this is something that has been utilized for a very long time in connection with that type of pain. So Angelica relieves painful cramping of muscles. It brings on delayed menstruation as well. It's good for bloating and cramps. But Angelica has a very long history of use in colds, congestions, fevers. The root itself is warming and stimulating to the lungs. It helps ease chest congestion. It also contains compounds that act very much like calcium channel blockers, which is often prescribed for people with high blood pressure and heart health issues. So just to let you know that some of these herbs and these roots have multi-use functional capabilities where they are not only able to help you with some of your main issues as far as pain is concerned, it can also help you for secondary issues as well, like heart health and blood pressure issues, for example, like Angelica. So unlike some of the drugs or the prescription pharmaceuticals that your doctor or your primary care physician is writing out to you, a lot of these drugs created in these laboratories, they so-called say, hey, this is gonna help you, and it may help with your symptom or one or two of your symptoms, but it's also creating additional issues within your body where you may go in and you say, hey, I have a pain right here, and they'll give you an anti-inflammatory, but then it's going to damage your liver. I mean, who wants that? No one. A lot of the herbal or the natural herbal root remedies that are out here help you in multiple ways. Some of them, they can't take a lot of these herbs because if they're taking, like, for example, warfarin, for example, some herbs you can't take because of maybe a current medication that you may be taking or you're under a doctor's care for. So that's just an example of something like that. But for the most part, a lot of these natural alternatives, you're able to take them for your main issue, your primary issue, and it will also help you in regards to your secondary issue. Angelica is one of those herbs. So keep in mind, we're talking about pain, we're talking about pain management, we're talking about kind of prevention, kind of like oxidative stress reduction, things like that, that will help you bring down that level of pain and so that you're able to manage it from a non-prescriptive point of view, okay? So that's Angelica, and it's very awesome. It comes in this raw form here. As I stated before, they do have these supplements in the vitamin stores and they sell them online and everything else. I do not or cannot endorse any type of supplements that have been created in a laboratory. I wholeheartedly believe that these roots and these herbs in their natural form do so much more for you than something that's in a laboratory. You can't pinpoint exactly how much of that herb or that root is going into that actual supplement. You don't know. But with something like this in its natural form, you not only know what it is, you actually can control how much of the herb or the root goes into your specific mixture. For example, you know how much of this and how much of that goes into your specific mixture, whether it's a tea that you brew or an actual powder that you're going to mix in with a drink or something like that. You control that You control the dosage, you control what it actually is and what's in it. If it's something that's in a laboratory, you have to take someone's word that that's exactly what it is. And, that's what I have against, these tablets and things that are made in a laboratory, unless you get something like this, it's in a powder form, and you get it encapsulated yourself, and you make your own capsules, and you still know exactly what you're consuming in your body versus something made in a laboratory and not knowing exactly what it's made of. Okay, so the second item that I wanted to talk to you guys about is pretty well known. A lot of women know about it. I say a lot of women, but they should know about this. This next item is called Cramp Bark, and it gets its name basically from, it looks like bark. It just looks like bark, right? I know. And I get a lot of comments about people saying, this stuff looks the same. Trust me, it's not the same. It all has different chemical properties, everything. So cramp bark, the actual scientific name is Viburnum opalis. And Viburnum opalis basically deals with natural pain relief as well, the scientific name. And basically, it sounds like it's just for cramps, which is related to women, that time of the month. Oh, I know. But it does much more than that. Trust me on that. Cramp bark basically relieves painful menstrual cramps, a few days before your cycle, women's cycle, as far as the uterus is concerned. And it also helps with bloating and cramping, everything that comes along with that sort of thing, PMS symptoms, things like that. However, cramp bark is also used for urinary tract infections as well. It helps to relieve the abdominal cramps. It helps relieve also IBS syndrome, which a lot of people suffer from, not only women, but men as well. It also helps to relieve spasmodic coughing. Coughing, that's the worst kind of coughing. It's kind of like a dry cough with no mucus, and it gets worse at night. And in nature, it can be keep you up at night, keep you up in the daytime. It keeps you from sleeping. Basically, it burns the throat. It's all around. It's very unpleasant. A lot of people that have I would say like bronchial spasms or asthma suffer from this type of spasmodic coughing as well. So this particular cramp bark can also help with that. It also helps to relieve high blood pressure. Let me tell you how that is. Basically, you have the cardiac muscle, the arteries, and the veins. What cramp bark does overall with all the conditions that I just told you about is help to decrease blood vessels, also help to smooth out the muscles that are tense, that cause certain spasms and things like that. It'll help smooth out those muscles. So kind of like as a relaxant. So when it helps relax the bronchial muscles, the uterine muscles, the urinary muscles, veins and arteries as well, you have blood that's able to flow properly through those veins and those arteries. You also have those muscles that are relaxed, they're not tense, therefore you will not have any spasmodic activity. And that's what cramp bark does for muscles. That's what it does for veins and arteries. It has a relaxing effect on those structures. So cramp bark is good all around for men and for women, not just women, but for men as well, suffering from those symptoms of those conditions that I just spoke to you about. And you don't have to be afraid of the actual name cramp bark. Like I said, it deals strictly with muscles of all kinds, not just for women, but for men as well. So muscle cramps, muscle spasms. It's good for your back. If you have back spasms as well, especially your lower back, it'll do the same thing as well. For for overcramped muscles, overworked muscles. Cramp Bark is something that you want to have in your arsenal. Trust me on that. It works for everybody. And a lot of people have back issues. A lot of people take prescription medications. They take that Aleve, they take that Tylenol. Aleve and Tylenol, those NSAIDs, have dramatic effects on your liver. It's been very well documented, even over-the-counter ones, even the prescription ones that the doctors are writing, 800 milligram strength Tylenol and Aleve and all that crap is ridiculous, the effects that it has on your liver. Please clearly think about this, folks. You have something here in its natural form, right, that you're able to just boil or brew or whatever, and you use it as you need it. It's non-habit forming. Some of the other things that they prescribe to you, like the NSAIDs, the 800 milligram Tylenols and Motrins, those are habit forming. You get very dependent upon those prescription drugs, and also very dependent upon the ones that you can buy over the counter in the store. Also, it's creating a lot of damage with your liver. So it's like a no-brainer. It's like natural, non-habit forming, and then you have the alternative, which is overprescribed, creating a lot of damage in your body, and you're dependent upon it. So it's a no-brainer. The next item I wanted to talk to you guys about is called Devil's Claw. Now, don't get freaked out, okay? That's just the name of the actual root. But if you happen to run across a cool picture of it, which I don't have with me, I just have the actual root. It's kind of chopped up. The entire root itself looks like a claw. That's just the name that they give it. They give it that name, but here's what it looks like, you know, in its chopped up form. Looks like that. Devil's Claw has actually been approved as a non-prescription medication over in Germany by the German Commission. So basically, they use it over there to relieve arthritis, lower back pain, knee pain, hip pain. It's also used to treat a number of ailments, including osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, gout, bursitis, and tendinitis. Also loss of appetite and some digestive disorders as well. So you have something here that is you can use it for a multitude of things that's wrong with you. And believe it or not, the symptoms that I just named out, you have millions and millions of people that deal with those symptoms every day that are hooked on prescription drugs, contributing to the overuse of these prescription drugs, also contributing to the opioid epidemic, believe it or not, because they're unable to stop utilizing these prescription drugs that their doctors or their physicians or their primary care physicians are writing out for them every time they run to the doctor with a new ache or a new pain. And it's not necessarily helping them, it's putting a Band-Aid on the symptoms, but not really treating the root or the cause of why they're feeling the way that they're feeling, their pain. So this is non-habit forming, but it works like a dream. When I tell you that this Devil Claw works like a dream, it does. It relieves pain, point blank. For especially people that are dependent on painkillers, this is great relief right here. And as little as you can use it for about 10 days or less, you'll feel a great relief of pain. And like I stated before, muscle aches, soft tissue pain or aches, tendinitis, gout, bursitis, you name it, this right here. And it's been utilized in a lot of studies that have backed up that this is very effective. It has a lot of anti-inflammatory properties as well. It was used actually as an anti-inflammatory treatment, and since it's actually been first discovered in South Africa by European colonists back in the 18th century, and basically in Europe, it's still very common, but it's not as well known over here in the United States as a lot of natural homeopathic items are not utilized over here in the States because I've said it before, you got a lot of doctors, you got a lot of pharmacological companies that are hand in hand in bed together, and they're getting paid. So it's like, hey, I'm going to get these patients hooked on these drugs. You're going to get a cut of this. It all works out for us. Not so well for the patient, because the patient is stuck on these drugs and can't get off of it. They're basically dependent upon it because they're in pain. So just to let you guys know that it also, Devil's Claw has been approved for treating ailments, including loss of appetite as well, digestive disorders, degenerative disorders as well, as far as inflammation in the joints. So you guys, I'm giving you this information because I've gotten a lot of feedback from people that say, well, what about this and what about that? The answers are out there. I can't stress it enough as far as, you know, these drugs that these doctors or these primary care physicians are writing out as far as prescription deaths. That's what I call deaths by prescription. The way that the prescriptions are altering your bodies and your mind, you're thinking that there's nothing out there that's going to be able to help you. And I'm telling you, there's answers out here. But yeah, anything that we talk about on the website or in this type of form, please know that I'm able to acquire anything that I speak about in any of these sessions, in any of these blogs, on my website, on the YouTube channel, not necessarily on Facebook, because Facebook has this thing to where if it doesn't benefit Facebook, they don't show it. So I have been off of Facebook for a while, but in relationship to abstract wellness. So just to let you guys know, the alternatives are out there. They do work. You just have to be diligent, stick to the plan, utilize it in its way as if you really want to get better. You want the success that you want as far as creating a healthy environment within your body. And I'm telling you, you're going to get there. You're going to get there. Another item I want to speak to you guys about is Feverfew. Feverfew is one of those things where, you know, I know you guys, I know. This right here, it doesn't look like what you think. So just don't say it looks like, hey, that looks like something that you smoke. It doesn't. Okay. Feverfew is named, it's just, trust me, it's good for you. Basically, Feverfew is used for the prevention of migraines and headaches, arthritis, fevers, muscle tension, and pain. It's also been used to lower blood pressure and lessen stomach irritation. It's also used to stimulate appetite, improve digestion and kidney function. It's been used for colitis, dizziness, tinnitus, ringing in the ears, and menstrual problems as well. So, like I stated earlier, a lot of these natural remedies have multiple uses. You can treat one thing and you're treating another and you're treating another. So this has, and Feverfew has no side effects whatsoever. But especially Feverfew is very important in regards to migraines. Migraines are debilitating headaches that a lot of people deal with. So a lot of women may deal with migraines around certain times of the month, and you have people in general that have debilitating migraines for a number of reasons. It can be a number of reasons. But basically, Feverfew can reduce the frequency and the severity of headaches, okay? And it is more effective than other non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, basically like NSAIDs, like aspirin. Aspirin has its drawbacks as well because of what aspirin can do for some people that may be on certain medications. And in general, the studies that have come out about aspirin, I know that they're saying you're supposed to take aspirin a day, the baby aspirin for heart, you know, for your heart, but there's a lot of contradictory issues with aspirin. A lot of people have been having a lot of problems with aspirin. And basically, Feverfew has serotonin in it, which is very good for your brain, the serotonin levels. I don't know if you've ever seen or heard anyone talk about serotonin levels, but basically it's believed to contribute to the onset of migraines, okay? By inhibiting serotonin, for example, as well as the production of histamine, the herb itself controls inflammation that constricts blood vessels in your head and prevents blood vessel spasms, which contribute to headaches. So if you're able to consume something that's going to contribute to lessening of a chemical that will constrict the blood vessels in your brain, I would say that's a pretty good start. You're well on your way to controlling those debilitating headaches or those migraines that you may be getting daily, weekly, or every month. Some cases for the women, every month. So think about it. If you know you're gonna get a migraine or a headache a certain time of day, a certain time of the month, what have you, why would you not want to prevent that naturally? This right here, this is what you need in your arsenal. I'm sorry, that's Devil's Claw. This is the Feverfew that you need in your arsenal. You have to understand, my cups aren't labeled. I'm picking them up, and I didn't even look at it, but I know this is Feverfew. So basically, when you have severity of these headaches and these migraines, a lot of people have them where they can't do anything, as far as when they actually receive them in the day or even at night. But if you take Feverfew as a preventative measure, I think you'll have a pretty good chance of being able to deal with the migraines or the headaches much more frequently. Before they even come, you're able to deal with it. It's, you've taken the Feverfew, and also that can be a powder as well. It can be powdered. I know a lot of people the manly mans are like, I don't like tea. That can be powdered. If you get it from me or you request it from me, I can powder the Feverfew for you. I know that one of my family members has debilitating migraines, and I've powdered the Feverfew for her, and she loves it. It keeps her off of a medication that was prescribed for her. I won't say the medication name, but it keeps her from taking that, so she's able to take care of her young son, because the medication that was prescribed for her basically made her dizzy, made her a little bit non-coherent at times. So just to give you a little background, this is an excellent choice over anything that anybody can prescribe for migraines or headaches. So just please, really please consider it if you're a migraine or a headache sufferer. And again, also women during that special time of the month, hey, a lot of women do get migraines and headaches as well. And you also have the other benefits that this herb also offers other than the migraines and the headaches as well, like the arthritis, the muscle tension and pain as well. So moving on, we're going to talk about St. Johns Wort. And I know some people have had experiences with St. Johns Wort, and a lot of people have not. But this is St. Johns Wort, and I don't know if you guys can see, but it's got some little flowers in here that if it's crushed, there's an essential oil that comes from the little flower. It's like a little red flower. St. Johns Wort is a common plant that has been used for centuries. It's been around for a very, very, very long time. St. Johns Wort is known to also relieve anxiety. It has I won't say a reputation, but it kind of has a stigmata about it. It was more used for people that were needing to be calmed down, in a sense, to where it kind of just calmed them down. But St. Johns Wort has been used medicinally as an anti-inflammatory. I don't know if you guys have known that or not, for strains and sprains and contusions and things like that. So it's not only used as a calming agent, it's been used also, like I stated, as an anti-inflammatory for a very long time to treat muscular spasms, cramps, tension, that also results from muscle spasms as well. So they're these little tiny, like I said, the little tiny flowers, the yellow flowers and the kind of reddish flowers that are in there have hypercin and other flavonoid compounds. So basically it has those little oils in those flowers. And that's the evidence of the flavonoid hypercin that's in St. Johns Wort. It's the actual oils. If you were to get a tincture or make a tincture, the oils would turn that kind of like a yellowish, reddish kind of tincture. And it comes from the oils in the flowers. And that's how you know that's true St. Johns Wort. Basically, St. Johns Wort, it can be applied externally to like wounds and things like that to treat, you know, swollen veins and things like that. Kind of like varicose veins and things like that. I've seen it done or for that, made for that use as well. But it, like I stated earlier, a lot of people really relate it to relieve anxiety and tension and act as an antidepressant. So if you or someone you know are taking any type of antidepressants, I would say they cannot take St. Johns Wort, because of the hypercin that is in St. Johns Wort and the flavonoids that is in St. Johns Wort. If you're on any type of antidepressant, this is not for you. You can't take it. But if you're not, you can take St. Johns Wort and it'll help calm you down, but it'll also give you those properties that we talked about as far as relieving muscle spasms and things like that. So you have, this is one of those herbs or those natural remedies that you have to be really careful about. It's not for everybody, it's not for the masses, but it could be for the right person. It could be for you, or it could be for someone else that you know of. However, you would need to base that. It's based on an individual basis as far as whether or not it's right for you. And if you're gonna take it as some sort of an antidepressant related thing, that could take a while for the herb to actually work in that form. You would probably need to take it probably for 10 weeks or more to see any result like that. But as far as St. Johns Wort working for you for, you know, as an anti-inflammatory or pain reducer, that would be an excellent thing for you, because it, like I state, it helps calm you down first, and then it helps you in those areas where you're having problems with pain and things like that. So just to give you a little background about St. Johns Wort, it does work. It works for the right person, but if you're on any type of antidepressants or MAO inhibitors, you might not want to take St. Johns Wort. That's just my advice. And we got one more to round out the group here. It's an oldie but goodie, and I say oldie but goodie because it has been around for a very long time. You may have some of your parents that may have been taking this last oldie but goodie. This is called Valerian Root, and I have it in its powder form. I don't have it, I normally take it or have it in mixes in its powder form, because a lot of people that, you know, they don't like it in the root form, but it comes in either a root form or powder form, but this is the powder form. And once you smell valerian root, you never forget it. I know it's a bad joke, but the people that I know that take valerian root, they never forget it. Or if you go somewhere, if you go to a health food store and you may be able to get it in bulk, you never forget it. You never forget that smell. You know when somebody has opened up valerian root. Basically, Valerian Root was basically brought about. It's been in use for forever. Um, Valerian Root helps with anti-anxiety issues, calming you down, things like that. It also is a very good natural sleep aid. If you're having trouble sleeping, Valerian Root will help you go to sleep without a problem, as well as skullcap and passion flower. It is in that family. And but Valerian Root is able to help ease in the sleep process. And also by doing that, helping you relax, it's also helping you as far as any anti-inflammatory issues that you may have, because it also lowers your blood pressure and it improves your heart health as well while it's lowering your blood pressure. And if you're having any pain anywhere in your body, first and foremost, when you go to the doctor and they're like, well, you're stressed out, we want you to be calm. You're here you go, you're too hyped up. First of all, calm down so that we can get swelling down, or we can get the inflammatory process going on. Here's some anti-inflammatory pills while you're at it. Just calm and rest and all that good stuff. Well, if they give you pills to rest, they give you an anti-inflammatory that you're putting into your body, that's like 2 bullets right there. With the valerian root, it just takes you just 1 cup of valerian tea, or that's it, and you've done enough. You're bringing down your blood pressure. It's an anti-inflammatory as well, and it's also going to help you rest. It's going to calm you down. And I would say, if you're going to take valerian root at night, because you will be drowsy, you will be in nighty-night mode, and it will not be best practices for you to operate any type of machinery or vehicle while you are under under the control of valerian root. That's my commercial in regards to valerian root. It is very powerful. You only need a little bit of it. It also eases menstrual cramps. It improves your stress management. And the reason why I say it improves your stress management is because it improves your anxiety. It improves the quality of your sleep so that you're able to manage stress day to day more efficiently. Because chronic stress can make you feel anxious, but anxiety can make you feel more stressed out. But when you're taking something as simple as valerian root, it's gonna cut all that out. You're gonna get some rest, okay? And when you get that rest, you're gonna be able to think and function at a more cognitive level on a day-to-day basis. So, just to let you know, and since it's a muscle relaxer, it also is very good at suppressing muscle spasms. So because it is a natural muscle relaxer, you don't have to take prescription muscle relaxers from your doctor or your primary care physician that's going to jack you all up in the inside, because there are a lot of different side effects from a lot of different muscle relaxers. I know that a few people have come and talked to me about muscle relaxers that they were prescribed. And if you knew the makeup, the chemical makeup of some of the muscle relaxers out there, I swear to God, you would not take them. I promise you, you wouldn't. So this is a natural muscle relaxer. Yes, it has a smell, but it doesn't come near to like Pepe Le Pew smell or anything like that. It's a smell that you can get accustomed to, especially if it's going to be beneficial for you and help you. This is something that I would highly suggest, that if you're having trouble sleeping, if you're having some sort of pain in your body from any type of muscle spasms, any type of muscular skeletal issues that you might be having, and you can't get sleep or you can't get sufficient rest, I highly suggest that you get some type of valerian root. Natural, of course. I don't I will not say get tablets or anything like that. I'm so against tablets and stuff that's made in a laboratory, because you don't know the components of these tablets. They can tell you it's valerian root. It may be 50% valerian root, and it may be 40% grass. I don't know, and 10% whatever. You can actually get natural valerian root, purchase it in this form, and then get it encapsulated. You can do this. There's an encapsulating machine. And then that way you know you're actually getting the valerian root. But outside of that, I think valerian root versus melatonin is very good. There are a lot of people, also I've made mixes with valerian root over melatonin. People didn't know that melatonin has side effects, and they say melatonin is very natural, but you have issues with people have issues with melatonin to where they have really freaky dreams. They have nightmarish dreams. They have night sweats. So if you come up out of a dream like you've been fighting crazy killer clowns with knives and you look like you just stepped out of Freddy's horror movie, I mean, I don't think melatonin is very good. I think there are some things and some of the melatonin supplements that are out there that are not very good, that causes adverse side effects in a lot of people. So just to let you know, melatonin can also cause short-term feelings of depression, daytime sleepiness as well, and irritability. So a lot of people just, I don't know, a lot of people are like hooked on melatonin and it's not causing anything for them, but there are a lot more people that I'm hearing from that saying, I don't know why I couldn't sleep, or I didn't know why I was having these crazy nightmares, or I didn't know why, I think for the most part, since we're talking about pain management, the valerian root in regards to pain management and stress and you being not so, just being uneasy is a really good start for those that have pain associated disorders, and to get them to relax. I think valerian root is a much more effective treatment for that. That's a natural, effective treatment. So just so you know, it also treats the sleep issues, the insomnia, and has positive side effects as far as your blood pressure is concerned. So I just want you guys to know these things do exist. These natural remedies, they exist out there. It has been proven. Please take this information wholeheartedly that I'm telling you about and research it, look it up. I'm more than happy to give you any additional information that you need, any answers that you're seeking. Please go over this information with your physician. A really good physician will say, hey, yes, this does work, but for you, it may not work or it may work. They'll be truthful. They'll be honest. They will not want to keep you on, pharmacological row, death row. That's what I call it. So please be smart. Please do your research, do your due diligence. And if you try these alternatives or other natural alternatives, please be diligent, be persistent. Your condition did not happen overnight. It's not going to be solved, or you're not going to be healed overnight. But if you begin some sort of a transition to where you take control of your medical, your history, your wellness, well-being, yourself, and you take control of it, your body's going to respond, and you're going to be so much better off than you are now. I promise you that, because you're actually doing something. You've already started the catalytic process, and you're going to be better for it. You're going to be better for it. So remember, please, contact me if you have any additional questions, any additional concerns. Share this video with as many people as you can. If you think it's going to be a blessing to them, if it's a blessing to you, let other people know about abstract wellness. It's about, people just doing things from a different perspective, getting maybe different results that they didn't quite expect, but it works. So, and it's from a natural point of view. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Check out my website, like my Facebook page. And I've been getting to the emails and the questions. I promise I have, and it's been within 24 hours. My response time has been excellent. I don't let anybody go longer than 24 hours without a response. And thank you guys so much for your comments and your well wishes and your likes. I love you guys very, very much. And remember, to know better is to do better. And I'll see you guys later.